We want to have a government that has institutions that are working. Okay. People who have been appointed, they can go and work.
All right.
And let me also
let me give you a chance for closing remarks because we're out of time. Yeah. But I was looking at the photos in the dam that you talked about. There was.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we want to talk about the yesterday interview of Rigathi Gachagua at Ramogi TV and FM. The interview, I don't know what you think about it, I need your honest opinion down there in the comment section. And of course, if you are new here, consider subscribing as a way of motivating us and also helping us grow this channel. So according to me, rather according to us as Kenya Lens Media, we were deeply disappointed with Trevor and how he asked the questions. Not that we are biased or rather, we are favoring or rather we are vlogging for Rigathi Gachagua, but let us face the truth. You can, have your opinion too. You can go against mine, but still, I need to tell you this. Yesterday, Trevor behaved unprofessionally, and now a video has emerged showing how he could, or rather he was receiving WhatsApp messages with the questions he was instructed to ask Rigathi Gachagua. Yesterday was more of an argument between Trevor and Rigathi Gachagua. It wasn't even an interview.
That was 2 billion. It was allocated by the move in 2020 because it was too little for the project. It was 19 billion. That 20 billion could not be allocated in that financial year. But even then, let's have the final comments because we run out of time.
And again, we kept asking ourselves, who was really sending these messages? Others were saying, such a program, it needs a producer, they can counter check on something, send through the WhatsApp. They cannot send through the WhatsApp, for God's sake. They have their earpieces, they have the, how do we call them? Walkie-talkies. That is the reason for they wear the walkie-talkies. So those messages basically were being sent by someone who had a great interest in the interview. Someone or some people who really wanted to embarrass Rigathi Gachagua on air. And I wonder who this person can be, but we are here to guess, and perhaps our guess will not be away from the truth. We start by asking ourselves, who really wants to embarrass Rigathi Gachagua on the Luo Nation? Or rather, who wants to embarrass Rigathi Gachagua before the Luo Nation? Who has interests in the Luo Nation? Rigathi Gachagua, let me say that does not have interest with the Luo Nation, because in fact there's no one vying for presidency from the Luo Nyanza. There's no one they're arguing about. There's no one they are competing. So there must be someone who feels like if these people from the Luo Nyanza are coerced to go a different direction, he will lose. And that person is William Ruto. Leave alone the ODM. ODM has nothing to lose anyway. ODM, those guys, those leaders are there to enrich their pockets, the likes of Gladys Wanga, the likes of Oburu Odinga. In fact, Oburu Odinga, he knows that his time is almost coming, so he needs to make a name out of it. In fact, and someone who can help him make a name is President William Ruto. So by siding with the President William Ruto is making his legacy. Perhaps maybe if anything happens even before the 2027 election, perhaps he can be accorded a very decent burial. Gladys Wanga is there also to do what? To fill her pockets. But the only person who will lose if the Luo Nyanza is swayed to a different direction is William Ruto. And therefore, I can confidently say that those instructions, those WhatsApp messages you saw there, they were coming straight from Statehouse. So someone was hell-bent to make sure Rigathi Gachagua looks embarrassed before the national TV or the Luo Nyanza TV. And if you watched the whole interview, you could realize that whatever Trevor was asking, it was like an argument, It was not like someone who really needs to get real answers. He wanted someone to feel embarrassed. He wanted someone to beg, someone to fall into a trap that he was setting. As of as always, Rigathi Gachagua, in as much as he may look damp as he is very bright. By the way, that man is very bright. Basically, Trevor was receiving those messages from Statehouse, and they were very intrigued. They wanted Rigathi Gachagua to be totally embarrassed. They wanted Gachagua, in the next 1 week or 2 weeks, not to hold any rally because they wanted to throw rotten eggs on his face. But Gachagua knew very well what was happening. In fact, he told Trevor that whatever you are doing, it is unprofessionalism. And in this video, I want you to watch this here, exactly here, yeah?
Well, Trevor, you have been very biased in this show. This is very unprofessional because, let me know what you like. Let me say my closing remarks. I've heard these people talk about good.
You see, Trevor Ombija has hid the phone below the paper. That paper had the questions they were planning to ask Rigathi Gachagua, but was reading from the WhatsApp messages from someone who was sending the messages, perhaps from Statehouse. So when Rigathi Gachagua mentioned that you are so unprofessional and biased, he hid the phone below below the paperwork he had made. That shows there was something hidden on those WhatsApp messages. Another thing, at some point, a professional journalist can be swayed from his position, especially when he wants to resign from journalism and join politics. Trevor is really eyeing the Nyakach parliamentary seat. And as he is eyeing the parliamentary seat, automatically he will join the campaign race, or the parliamentary seat race, or the campaign trail on the UDA ODM ticket. That is the broad-based. Therefore, he must, through his position as a journalist, working in Citizen TV, Ramogi TV, some of the most watched platforms and TV stations in Kenya, he must use his position maybe to please his masters. If he pleases his masters, therefore, he may be given, or rather he will be given a ticket, an ODM UDA ticket to vie for the parliamentary seat. And that is why yesterday, Trevor Ombija looked so unprofessional on national TV. In fact, many people are so embarrassed. I know some people who are affiliated with the broad-based government will be here abusing me, throwing insults in the comment section. But I want you to keep them coming. You tell me, because I saw so many people who are, who are who are pleased with the interview. They were saying that, people should understand that an interviewer has a producer, and the producer can, send him messages for clarity and stuff. So I'm here to ask you, what is the function of the walkie-talkie that, he was wearing in his ear? The function of those is to communicate with the producers, is to communicate with the, the camera guys. So yesterday's interview was so biased, and the biasness came, one, because Trevor Ombija is eyeing the parliamentary seat at Nyakachi, and therefore he wanted to please the masters, whereby President William Ruto is involved. Number two, he was receiving those messages from someone with great interest in the Luo Nyanza votes, and therefore he never wanted Rigathi Gachagua to sway the votes. And you see, President William Ruto has great interest. In fact, for the first time, we've seen a president camping in the Luo Nyanza. So he has great interest in the Luo Nyanza votes. I don't know what you're thinking, guys. You can write your opinions down there. And if you're new here, consider subscribing to our YouTube channel as we bring you. And then, there is a point where Rigathi Gachagua asked him, among the comments you're reading, you're asking questions from the comments, from the people, as Trevor would say. Don't you see any positive comment there? Because Trevor was only reading those negative comments. Didn't he? That shows the kind of biasness that was exhibited in that interview. I don't know what you're thinking. Kindly, guys, share with me in the comment section. Even insults are also opinions. You can share them down there. Let's have a good debate on the comment section. Kindly, if you're new here, consider subscribing as a way of motivating us and also helping us grow this platform.